Okay, so the language technology program in Iceland, it was started formally some time ago. There was a nice report written, and so the language technology program in Iceland has been, like I said, underway for some time, and it's based on a report that Anna was amongst the authors of, that was published in 2017, and that is kind of the Bible that we have been working from since then. 2018, the program is funded by the government of Iceland, and at the end of the year 2018, I started working, and basically we, at the beginning of year 2019, we start, you could say, full on. So the program itself, with a consortium working on the projects, is starting formally on the 1st of October. It did take a long time to negotiate a contract that was in line with all the legal requirements you have when you are using public funds like that, of course. So the goals are quite simple. That is, of course, to make sure that Icelandic will live. That is the most important goal I think all of us are working on. And for that to happen, we need to ensure that the language is usable and used in digital technology solutions. And usable is, of course, making language resources in such a way that they can be basically used and utilized by computers, for example. And it's also important to make sure that companies and foundations and individuals then have the solutions. So the structure of it, maybe first talk about the financing. So the execution of the core projects is quite simple. That is the funding that Almannarómur, the Center for Language Technology that I had, is responsible for, and that is used to execute and actually produce the core projects. And there is a consortium that Anna will speak on behalf of that was hired, was basically contracted to create those solutions. In addition to this, the core projects, we basically then have a competitive fund in language technology that is hosted by the National Research Institution, RANIS, and the innovation companies that get funded there, they of course bring their 50% as well in. So, it is 500 million, the competitive fund, and then we assume that the funding by the companies that will get funded will also be 500 million. So then we have daily operations, of course, of the center. This is the budget for 4 or 5 years. And then important part of this is, of course, the Clarin office in Iceland, and then funding the joint master's program that is between the Reykjavik University and the University of Iceland in language technology. And that has actually taken off very well in the last year and now, and it's critical for us to be able to create an ecosystem, you could say, for language technologies, because we can build those, or have built those core solutions, but if we don't have then people that are working on this going forward and also going into industry with the knowledge and taking language technology solutions into companies, then it won't be sustainable in the long term. And of course, on top of all of this, the language technology solutions for consumers will be built. The execution, just to touch on a few fundamentals, and sorry about the Icelandic there, I see that I have not translated all of it. This would be useful for language technology now to do that, but anyway, key component is open licenses. So everything that is gathered and produced basically within this program will be published under the Apache 2.0 and CC BY 4.0 licenses. Of course, we acknowledge that if there is something that is vital to get in, that has to be licensed differently. That is done, but we basically emphasize that everything is open. innovation is a critical part of the plan. By keeping the licenses open, and we allow for commercialization, and that is key, because we cannot actually expect companies and entrepreneurs to put their money and time into creating software and solutions that they will not be able to sell. So this needs to be open. Every product is accessible at the Clarin office in Iceland. Consumers are of course the next critical, you could say, part of the chain, and the SEAM are quite good in actually interacting with the potential users for testing, for example, during their research and development phase. But we need to be absolutely mindful always of the fact that the software, the tools, the technology that will be used is something that is or will be in the equipment that the public likes to use, that the public actually buys. So it has to be accessible and up to, you could say, all standards, of course. So in short, the core projects are the foundation for the innovation in language technology that we expect to see at later stages in the program. We are, of course, now only in the first year. Soon at the end of the first year of the program, it will be a total of 5 years. So the commercialization chain, just to go briefly over that, of course, the input is data and software, and then you see, those core projects that SEAM, the consortium, is busy building the speech analyzer, synthesizer, machine translation, and then it's the automatic error correction, and of course, data. And that is the consortium that is already working on it and have been contracted already for year 2, starting 1st of October this year. Everything is then handed over to Clarin and potentially also the European language grid. And from there, everyone that actually wants to and can use it can get it, and that is free of charge. And that goes for everyone. International tech companies, we really hope and pray that they want to use it, because that will be very beneficial for Icelandic innovation community, of course. And then big companies and institutions. It is, for example, important for us to get the 3 big banks in Iceland to invest and develop language technology for their clients, because those are the biggest, the biggest spenders on software development in Iceland, most likely. So, in short, we look at the core projects that the consortium are building, like as maybe a road system. They are infrastructure of our language, and but it's not our role, so to speak, to build the cars that the consumers will drive on that road, on the language road. A very elaborate analogy, you could say. So this is just very briefly, given that we spent so much time looking for the slides, so I apologize for that, and of course would love to take questions, if any.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I am going to talk about how we are executing the program in Iceland, the language technology program. And I'm gonna start with who we are. And one thing that we believe is a bit special about the Icelandic program, and also, in our opinion, a very important factor of the program to succeed, that is the joint effort of the many sectors coming into the SEAM consortium. We have the academic institutions, private companies, special interest groups, and public sector institutions as well. Because in Iceland, the knowledge and language technology centers have primarily been built and developed within academia in the last years. But lately also small language technology startups have been adding to the field. So it was important for us to join all available expertise on language technology in the country. And further, we have one enterprise company, Credit Info, which works on media monitoring, which works on the preparation of media data from RÚV, the national broadcasting company, which in turn provide large data collections, and it's an important partner in the recordings and collection of speech data, both for speech recognition and speech synthesis. And the members of Audio Book Library and the Association of the Visually Impaired, they provide valuable insights and participate in evaluation with users that depend on speech technology in their daily lives. And this is also true, for example, for the group of the hearing impaired. And it is crucial for us to think about language technology as a tool to ensure accessibility of information from the beginning of the development of the program. It is, of course, a bit of a challenge to coordinate teams across such different parties because things work differently within an enterprise company or in a small startup or in a university. But this collaboration is developing very well, and all consortium members are continuing the collaboration for the next project years. The core projects Jóhanna mentioned before, we are talking about automatic speech recognition, speech synthesis, language resource development, natural language processing tools, machine translation, and spell and grammar checking. All these core projects are divided up into smaller work packages and have their teams built around the projects. These teams work closely together. They are sometimes built of people working in the same place, but often they also are sitting in different places, in different companies, institutions. And we stress really this close collaboration especially of related projects. And additionally, everybody working on the project is a member of a common platform where discussions and planning and collaboration takes place. And I'd like to mention, like Trond Troster spoke about this morning, that one crucial aspect of a successful language technology project is that all the different experts work together. And we like to think about taking this one step further, not just the experts within a group or a company, but just across all this consortium, across all the related parties in Iceland working on language technology. Well, every team works by common standards for data delivery and software development. The one goal guiding much of our work is that data and tools have to be usable by others, by companies or other researchers. And therefore, development of common standards for deliverables were one of the first tasks of the project. This also relates to the pitfalls Per Langgaard was speaking about before, that we don't want our stuff to end up in drawers or in some data cemeteries. Just a bit about how the project content is organized. We have, we emphasize in the beginning, we emphasize language resources. We are collecting data, we are preparing data for use in language technology development, both speech, texts, and also lexical resources. These are, as we have heard today, fundamental components of all language technology development. What you see in the middle, this list, language resources, natural language processing, and the list of the core tools, these are the things the SEAM consortium is working on. It is important to define what really are the deliverables. We do not work in these are not research projects in a way that are not meant to be used in industry, but of course it's a lot of research going on, but the final deliverables are all ready-to-use software packages, standardized language resources in a standardized format, and so on. But these tools and data by themselves are not finished applications. So that's where industry comes in and will hopefully be able to develop products for the users, for the consumers. And to give 2 examples of that, I take 2 examples of concrete applications. You can have the example of automatic caption. That is, we saw the first thing this morning, the example when we have the text at the video where the Trump speech was had the English subtitles and translated into Swedish, where we heard that really the act of automatic captioning, automatically translating speech into subtitles is not available in the. Is mostly just available for English, even if research is going on and some tests. But for this example, we see on the far left data and modules that will be delivered by our program. We are collecting speech data. We see speech corpus. Samrómur is a crowdsourced speech collection. The statistics for the corpus today are, I think, about 10,500 people have spoken about 285,000 utterances into the corpus. We are emphasizing different ages, teenage voices, older voices, voices of people not speaking Icelandic as a first language, and so on. So this is aimed to be the basis of a general ASR system for Icelandic. We also need textual data for language modeling, and there we are developing a gigaword corpus, 1 billion words, 1.3 million words. I think it's right now, and a pronunciation dictionary. All these resources are then input for a recipe that will be developed for a general ASR system for Icelandic. But there is an intermediate step needed to transform all these resources into an application. So we have the part application development. We might need to adapt the text corpus and the dictionary to a special domain so that the system knows all the words and texts it needs to know. And this might need to be adapted to the ASR system, or the ASR system might need to be adapted. And of course, any software development that does not directly relate to the ASR system itself, but just to make it work, for example, in an application where we have automatic captions of television in Icelandic. And the second example, what I'm gonna show you is about machine translation. The basis for modern machine translation systems are parallel corpora. This is a resource that is not that easy to construct for Icelandic. So we are working on several methods to increase the size of the parallel corporas. We are working only with English Icelandic right now, but all the methods and procedures we are developing and implementing are, of course, then ready to use for other languages, other domains, and so on. Given this general machine translation system, an application development step would be to probably again to adapt to a domain, because many things in language technology work best when they are adapted to a special domain. And then integration work into an existing tool for computer-assisted translation tool that could then assist a human translator in his or her work, be added to all the other tools in the system like translation memories and so on. So this was the overview from me. I just want to finish with ideas of that is important to have conversation, collaboration, not only within Iceland, but also especially within the Nordic countries. We are very interested, as Jóhanna said, to collaborate also with industry, with individual companies. How can we utilize the products that are being developed within our program? Thank you very much.